Hi, I'm Nicole from The Door on the Table. Today I want to share with you the most common mistakes I see people make when they set up a buffet table at home. I know there are so many videos out there showing you beautiful buffet tables, how to create them, what to do, but I think so often they forget what not to do. And that's what I really want to share with you today, are those common mistakes that people make that are easily avoidable when you know what not to do. All right, so let's get started. The most common mistake I see people make when they're setting up a buffet at home is they're putting their utensils and their napkins right next to the plates at the head of the buffet table. That's a no-no. What you really should be doing is taking and putting your utensils and your napkins at the opposite end of your plates, at the end of the buffet line. That way when your guests go through the buffet, they've got their plate loaded up with all of their food, and then at the end, they just need to grab the utensils and napkins and go sit down. So remember, plates at one end, utensils and napkins at the opposite end. The next most common mistake I see that people make when they're doing buffets at home is they're putting everything at one level. I get it. It's just easy to put all the dishes out. When guests arrive, they can easily put them on your buffet table. But it's not very visually appealing. It doesn't have much interest to it, and we really eat with our eyes, so we want to make sure our buffet table is attractive and it encourages people to want to eat. This is something you can easily do the morning of, the night before. So before you have your dishes actually on the table, you are going to want to add height to your buffet. And the easiest way to do this is with boxes. I have some empty shoe boxes. You can use any kind of cardboard box. It really doesn't matter what they look like. You could use a stack of books, any kind of container that has some stability and provides a little height to your table. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take a tablecloth, or in this case, this is just a shawl, a scarf, and you're going to drape that over your boxes or books, whatever you're using. See how easy that was just to throw that on there? They're now hidden, but they're adding height to our buffet table. Now you can go and put your serving dishes on the top of the boxes, adding that height. And it also kind of creates a little bit more space on this table because they can kind of overhang, but you can already see how much more visually appealing this buffet table is. Another common mistake I see is that when people are having a buffet, they forget to take the lids and coverings off of the food dishes. They've forgotten to remove the aluminum foil or saran wrap or whatever lid is on that serving dish, and now people are going through the food line and they're having to remove the aluminum foil. But where do they put it? They either fold it in half, food starts dripping down, or they ball it up and it just gets placed on the table. Or they're standing around trying to figure out, where am I going to put this lid? Make sure before you start having people go through your buffet that you take all the lids off and put them somewhere else. Another common mistake that I see on buffet tables is not identifying what the food is. Most likely you'll have guests that have food preferences or allergies, and they want to know what they're about to eat. You know, this is especially important if you have a potluck and you don't know what your guests are bringing. So simply have food tents available for your guests to fill out. Very easy thing to do. Just get some cardstock, cut out some squares, fold them in half, and then write on them. So maybe you're having chicken enchiladas. Put that next to the chicken enchiladas. Maybe you have a veggie lasagna. Put that next to the veggie lasagna. That way there's no question. Your guests will go through the line and they'll be able to grab what they want to eat. Sticking with the food dishes, another common mistake that I see is you have the utensils out for your serving the food and they'll slip into the pans accidentally. And then people take them out and they don't know where to put them because they don't want to put them on your nice tablecloth or scarf in this case. So what you need to do is either have some spoon rests or just some small plates and put those next to your food dishes. That way there's a place to rest the utensil when it's not in use. All right, now let's move down to the end of the buffet. So often I see people put their drinks at the end of the food buffet. Don't do that. Put your drinks on a different surface, on a different table, someplace else. Because what happens is you've got the people going through the food line, and then you've got somebody who's coming up to refill their drink, and it gets congested. Prevent that congestion. Put the drinks in a separate location than the food. The other thing too is if you have a really nice drink dispenser like this, identify what's in it. All you need to do is grab a dry erase marker, write on it. Maybe it's sangria, maybe it's tea, but that way people know what that beverage is, especially if it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic, you want to identify that. The other common mistake I see at the end of the buffet line is that's where people tend to put all of the condiments. That's where all the salad dressings and mustards, mayos, and all the rest of that stuff tends to end up. Really, you need to put those items next to the food that they go with. Put the salad dressing next to the salad. Put the mustard next to the hot dogs. You want to make sure that the condiments go close to the food dishes that they go with. Okay, the last and most common mistake that I see people make when they're setting up a buffet table is with the utensils. Yes, now we have them down at the end of the table, which is correct. However, they have them with the utensils facing up. This is a big no-no, and the reason why is when your guest is about to take that utensil, inevitably they're going to grab it, and they've probably touched 3 or 4 other utensils at the same time. I know I don't want to be using a spoon that somebody else has just touched that part that I'm going to be eating with. I'm sure your guests don't either. So instead of putting the utensils in handle side down, put them in with the handles facing up. Still easy to grab, but that way there's no concern that the utensil itself has been contaminated by somebody else. I hope you found this useful, so the next time that you're having a buffet, you know what mistakes to avoid. If so, give me a thumbs up. Have a wonderful time with your friends and family. Bye.